Hello everyone, it is Wednesday, February 25th, yes, and today I have to relate pudginess to music. I have to admit that this word is a tricky one for me because of how broad the term music is, which I'm beginning to think is going to be a bit of a problem for me this year. When I first started considering this theme, I was going to go down the route of talking about pudgy musicians. But when I looked up the actual definition of the word, short and fat, chubby, I figured that narrowing it down to discussing fat, short musicians and the few songs that have been written in the past praising pudgy women was going to be a bit difficult. Mama Cass came to mind, but wonderful as she is, I don't think I could do a whole video talking about her. So, I had to move on. And I've decided to instead talk about pudginess in the terms of appearance and weight in the music industry. And that led me to two very distinct areas. You have pudginess in rock, and you have pudginess in popular and sort of R&B music. Now, because of my own tastes, I'd probably find it easier to discuss pudginess in rock and its relative irrelevance, but you have to consider the other side of it as well. Taking a really wide view of it, there aren't that many notably overweight rock musicians. It may be because of all the drugs or energetic on-stage performances, but aside from a very limited number of online mentions or a very small story in a newspaper, if a rock musician puts on a little weight, it doesn't really matter because as far as I'm aware, pudginess doesn't really have an effect on how well you can play your instruments. Pop music, R&B, it's much more about that one person and their appearance when they're out there singing or dancing, which they have to do much more often, and so they become the target of the gossip mags, and it seems very unfair really, because when you look at these, and it doesn't seem fair, because those people have become far more celebrities than the musicians or vocal artists, however you like to refer to them, that they began as. I mean, in rock music it really doesn't matter. I mean, you don't even have to be good looking, so being a bit overweight isn't going to matter much. I could talk about brilliant overweight singers, I could talk about amazing fat musicians, but that isn't pudginess, because as we defined at the beginning, pudginess is short fat musicians. So feel free to tell me all of the short fat musicians you know, and I'll make sure to mention them in the next video somehow. It's really hard to know where to go from here on this subject. I think the point I was trying to make was that pudginess in all areas of music has no real effect unless you look at the shallow celebrity side of it. I have not liked this word to relate to music. I probably could have done it far more simply, but I guess this sort of outlines probably why I like rock music more than pop. It's just far less shallow. I had to go the long roundabout generalization making way about it. That wasn't a very nice sentence. And hopefully I'll get on with next week's word a bit better. Stuff going on with me at the moment. I haven't been all that well. I actually took a day off school today, even though I only had 2 lessons. Feeling a bit better though, so that's good. And on Monday I went to Exeter with my friend Michaela. My brother's birthday present to me was to go to any concert. He would buy me tickets and pay for my transport and everything to any gig of my choosing. And because they were going to Exeter on Monday, I chose Real Big Fish at the Exeter Lemon Grove, and he got me tickets and I went with Mick, and the support acts were Random Hand and Suburban Legends, and I had the most amazingly fun time. It was in this totally cool, really tiny venue. Everyone was skanking and dancing and having just a really fantastic time, and I did too, so that was a really, really good start to my week and a brilliant birthday present, final birthday present that I got. It was absolutely so much fun. My brother also got a Suburban Legends guitar pick of Brian Clem and gave it to me. That was kind of cool too. That was actually the final birthday present. Until I got home on Tuesday and there was a card for me from Canada, which was from Jess. Jess, you are just the sweetest. There is no other word for it. You are so sweet. I really appreciated it. Thank you so much for my card. I love the moose too. It's brilliant. In fact, I'm going to get it so I can show people. Look, this is the card that Jess sent me. It's so cute. I love it. Thank you, Jess. You're really sweet. That's all I have to say this week. You'll see me trying to relate hunger to music next week.